the Venge in the position 1. I actually think I like that more. To me, Venge position 1 is like very much the way that you play this hero now. Support Venge, there's just heroes that does what she does better in that role.
5
But
seconds
I'm
remaining.
kind of wondering what Faceless's answer. Take the Warlock now. They've got a lot of team fight.
I think it's just
Reserve
support
time.
Venge though, because Raven.
Really?
Raven's gonna be playing a lone druid.
You don't think that they're gonna stick it in? I mean, they could have Raven in the mid lane.
They could do some lane swappy kind of thing, but it just doesn't feel like that's TNC's playstyle. TNC's playstyle is we're gonna have 2 hyper damaging cores, build a lineup around it. And Venge sounds perfect for something like that, right? I mean, we saw what Rior did with the Sullen swap. He's gonna try to replicate that with, you know, the actual hero here.
All right, it might end up happening. Oh, you mean Sam? Oh yeah, Rior, of course.
Yeah, Rior on the Rubik's, you know. With
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and the Ember Spirit is going to come out now as well. So Warlock Ember, another nice combination of, you know, being able to spread. Damage.
Sure. Fatal Bond plus
Dire team
that thing
battle.
is gonna win a team fight on its own. So a lot of the comfort heroes. This is gonna be ICIS's Centaur Warrunner. I don't think he has played it in this qualifier.
Might not have. I think that it's still
10
such a strong
seconds
hero that
remaining.
it's worth going for, and they do need. Be that big beefy
TNC's
frontliner.
turn to pick.
If they're able to get onto the back line. That's true.
So I feel like Slark is gonna be unanswered unless
seconds
TNC picks up a mid that has a disable. I mean,
5 seconds remaining.
I recall Cuckoo playing something like an LC if you really want a hard single
I
target
think you can
lockdown.
take Tinker here.
You want Tinker? Okay.
I mean, it's his hero also.
I feel like Centaur, Warlock,
Oh, they already
Ember,
banned it out second phase. Sorry.
Yeah, all of these heroes are good against Tinker, so.
I already took it out. A tough one.
LC press the attack on the Lone Druid. Come on.
All right.
Can you think about that one?
I think it's pretty good. It again depends upon you being in a position where you're pushing high ground, using it. I guess you could just use it in a team fight too.
Yeah.
I think Storm is okay in this instance.
Storm will have a little bit of issues in the laning phase because Earth Spirit is going to be pretty annoying, but he's going to be annoying just about against.
I guess Chains for root too.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just thinking that it has strengths and weaknesses.
Invokers
Storm will be amazing versus War.
Wasn't there for him.
10 seconds.
Yeah, there's like TA, which is left, which is pretty bad. Storm, which is left, which isn't great. They're gonna go Earth.
I feel like this Slark is gonna go.
All right, Black, can you carry the game? Can you make it happen? Faceless, 1 game away from moving on at a spot at the winners finals. And they are putting their hopes on this last pick, Slark. I think that they have a really well designed draft, but they are 3 melee heroes against an Ursa.
True. I mean, Centaur is
Four,
gonna
technically.
10
Centaur's gonna try
seconds
to
remaining.
kite them away.
Yeah.
Which one did you not think it was the melee?
I was
5
thinking about
seconds
cores, and I
remaining.
was not mentioning
Okay.
Earth Spirit. Yeah,
Because I was thinking that Ember, he doesn't play like a melee hero. Right?
that's true too.
like it feels like a range cap. Some sort, but
No pause this time. No rest for the wicked. It's all about
Prepare
moving out
for
there. And,
battle.
well, Tim's is already almost across the map. Will he get his smoke broken? XY. Tim
Oh.
ships in the night.
All right. Whew. Nobody scouts each other. We got Raven playing his Lone Druid. So this is the timing that we're looking for, right? By 20 minutes, he's going to have Mjolnir Dragonlance.
Okay.
And, I mean, I think that's the similar level of farm that Jabs had last game. But Jabs had a tough lane too, so.
It's true.
But when Aosin and I were casting a lot of TNC's Raven game, we both agreed that he's the best Lone Druid player in C. Whenever they get this hero, they look so comfortable in terms of their timing of pushes. He also joins fight as a Lone Druid, like level 10,
30 seconds
which is
to
kind of
battle.
mind-boggling because most Lone Druids just want to AFK farm. It's so important to get your timing on your items, but also to hit level 15 because that's when you get your big spike of damage with your, the 55 damage talent.
I really think that Faceless, just looking at the way that the Underlord is most likely going to want to play this game, they've got a group up and push mentality. They've got the heroes to do it with Bloodlust. If they end up executing the draft the way that they want to, I think that they stand a really good chance. Firestorm is there on top of Black. They're going to be able to actually steal away the...
Oh, Black?
as well. Good bit of damage. Black in trouble. He has a leveled up Essence Shift.
Who's in trouble? I mean...
Sam H is out of there.
Okay.
I guess that they have the salve as well to use, so Underlord is going to be taking a little bit worse of the exchange since he does not have that salve.
It's fine. Eat a tango. Alright, so let's look at the mid matchup here. Jabs should be having a tough time. I mean, this is why they last picked it. Ursa, predominantly for the laning, in my opinion. And Ursa most likely rushing towards quick boots, and that's going to force Jabs to do the same. Especially now with the Ogre coming in. I think Jabs is... Well, he's going to try his best to get some tower last hits, but...
Sure what Cuckoo was doing there entirely. He ended up just like diving under tower, but not ending up applying any of the stacks to the Ember there for harassment.
Sending a message.
I am in your lane. Expect me here. Frustrating indeed. Meanwhile, the...
Wait, that creep wave got pulled over here. That is...
Oh, they did the Earth Spirit pull! Oh no, XY!
That is such a big win for the lane.
Wow. All right, yeah, that's the play. There was the threat about this
Cuckoo
one.
pulls his lane back, sort of. But then, still, damage has already been done.
Yeah. This lane is going to now push, though, so it's a little bit awkward with the creep equilibrium. And it does, I mean, this helps so much the laning stage.
Especially in a disadvantaged matchup, right? Like,
Yeah.
that one lane of gold and experience could make all the difference.
And if you're picking this Ursa to be able to counter out Jabs,
Exactly.
and it doesn't happen, what's this hero going to be providing to you? It's the same type of thing as like losing Roshan as an Ursa.
Granted, there's only one lane of pull, so it's not that destructive. It's not like he's repeatedly doing it.
But look at Cuckoo, he's
Cuckoo
almost
is actually
dead.
getting wrecked here.
Oh,
Cuckoo
no.
does have a salve coming, and I do believe a boot coming as well, so he can actually force the kill onto Jabs relatively soon.
Yeah, it's also just tough, though, because now he has to last hit under tower, which is not the easiest thing in the world with Ursa. You can see right here, just that little bit of extra damage that you would get from Fury Swipe. Sometimes, too.
Sure.
What have we here?
Bottom lane here, Raven really letting it go into Ice. Now Jukes to the right here. There is going to be one Magic Missile. No Magic Missile plus Terror, though. That's kind of the issue there. Rior. Oh, the creep is helping out.
They're body blocking. They realize that he needs to get out and doing a good job.
Return is actually doing quite a bit of damage.
There's the Howl.
The roll in.
Roll in. Okay, playing it safe still. Magic Missile available. They might turn on to XY. Double Edge. Is he going to drop? He ends up falling. For the double edge to get a little bit more out of it. And now XY trying to TP away. Is he going to be able to make his escape?
he's
It looks
fine.
like it is.
I mean, TNC did have to lose the bear to actually get the kill, but well worth it to grab the first blood.
Well, good little bit of gold for them. And it is looking like Faceless off to a hot start across the lanes. Ursa is going to have a little bit of reprieve in his laning stage now. Gets a free one while Ember heads off to the jungle for a moment. Do you expect that the lane is going to start swinging back again into Ursa's favor now that there's no more pulls going on?
I think so, and I think Jabs understands that he's not going to really win the attrition war, as it were, in the mid lane, right? Like, Cuckoo, especially once he upgrades to Phase Boot, just gets to walk all over the lane. And Jabs is going to duck out a little bit, farm towards his bottle, and then come back once he perhaps has closer to 6, maybe to, you know, force a kill once Cuckoo gets a little bit too low.
Yeah, I mean, he can spam the wave if he wants to. Now, actually, it looks like they're just going to bring the Earth Spirit in maybe to soak up some experience or something. He's heading off completely to the jungle. Iron Taloning, in fact.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is that even in terms of the CS, oh, Nuts might be in a little bit of trouble here. We'll take a Firestorm to the face. The heal's doing a lot of work here, but the right click's doing a lot more. Nuts, can he deny himself? No, Sam Mage will get the right click, and now the Fire Blast will go to Black. Black trying to leap over to the trees.
Yeah, he has so much damage.
What a kick! What a roll! But they dropped the Storm.
Almost dead. XY, he's out of there. He got a ton of damage back from the Atrophy Aura as well for getting part of that kill.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think as as Underlord gets more levels up on the top lane, Slark is going to have a tougher and tougher time. But looks like these two will have to go back. Shrine is not available, so things have to make the long trip home.
Very frustrating, but still a good for them. They've been able to get off to a decent start, and this is kind of what we saw last time as well, as TNC winning the lanes. And interesting thing, XY just still trying to soak while the Ember Spirit Iron Talons. The safer place to farm, and I like this decision to make sure. The thing that sucks is Jabs doesn't have boots yet, so he's still so slow.
Alright, looks like Tim's is making he's drawing an arrow, showing his gank path. He wants Ice, and he's going to do it behind the enemy tower. Rotation is in. Lucky for him, there is no wards scouting any of his movement.
They are moving in now, though, and well, with Rior in the area as well, they should be able to find this kill. Pump fakes
what a
the stun. Oh, that's a good one. And yeah, they might not even need anything, honestly. The Ogre, just his presence here, they are able to find the kill.
Good support play. Both support stop last hitting, or stops right clicking. Letting Raven get that last hit.
Oh, and 3-0 start. XY. He's gotten up to level 4, and Ursa Cuckoo wanting to get a little bit aggro on him. He does have the kick and then the roll away.
Okay.
So he's safe.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ursa showing him whose lane it really is.
Like, I remember you for that pull.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We haven't talked a heck of a lot about him. He's got 30 and 11 on CS. Been
attack.
consistently able to get the benefit of Nuts pulling, keeping the lane equilibrium where he wants it. Cuckoo is going to run into Jabs. Level 6 is there, though, able to get just barely away. Reactions by Jabs.
I mean, Cuckoo's really not able to kill anybody, but I guess he's okay with that, at least for the time being, because he's still dominating in the mid lane. He's still CSing. Also, I do want to point out that this matchup that Black is facing, it's really showing the strength of him as a Slark player, because this is not a really good matchup for a Slark.
Dire's middle tower
The top lane
is
has
under
been playing
attack.
really well for Faceless to actually allow Slark to have the CS advantage.
Yeah, Underlord, tough hero to deal with. I think that probably the Atrophy Aura nerf also causes some issues there. They're
Dire's
thinking
bottom
about
tower
rolling in on
is
this.
under
They do
attack.
have a roll and then a kick if they can hit it onto Cuckoo.
Dire's
Do one more
structures
round
are
of chains.
fortified.
He's level 7 though, so Enrage is up.
Yep. Meanwhile, we have a lot of pushing going on. The bottom tower has already been glyphed, but looks like TNC will back it off for now. Go for a little bit of farming. Really like the casual Blightstone here from the Lone Druid. Just adds so much more damage when you're pressuring that T1.
Yeah, definitely. All Faceless are going to be moving out mid as well. And it's sort of a a weird spot because you've got like Sam H who can pressure out top. You've got mid lane which can be spammed out by the jabs and Ember Spirit, and then more often than not, Ice isn't going to need to be in trouble either because of Stampede. So it does feel like it's just going to be sort of that passive laning phase, at least until we get into the mid game, even though TNC has so much more vision around this area and they can play like so much more freely.
Yeah, you could make the argument that the passive laning phase is good for both teams for different reasons. For Faceless, I think a lot of the heroes need the critical levels, right? Ember needs level 6. The two supports want level 6 very desperately.
What have we here?
TNC, it's the core is getting the farms. The Blink Dagger is going to be quick. Raven also working towards his core, but looks like we have a big rotation coming in. Jabs looking for the Bearman into the jungle, but he guesses wrong with his first Fire Remnant.
This was spotted as well, and now they're on top of XY. He is maybe going to drop, and everybody knew what was coming, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be able to stop it. Raven already down. Tim's there as well. They're going to throw out the Remnant. Jabs gets away, and Ice, having already Stampede, is going to fall. But everybody had vision around where that Invis rune was, and it ends up being Radiant responding a little bit more effectively, even though they lose the Lone Druid.
I think it's actually a fine trade for Faceless. You got to keep. I mean, now on the other part of the map, Slark is, getting free farm. He's damaging the tier 1. Warlock is trying to steal his 6 on the mid lane. He is going to get it after one more creep. So, yeah, they lost 3 heroes for 1, but I think it's okay for Faceless.
Radiant's top tower is under
9 minutes
attack.
in, it's going to be the tier 1 tower taken, and it looks like we also have a Dark Rift. I love this type of play. You Dark Rift after you take a tower, and now you're in a position to either A, just go back to farming, or pressure some more if you wanted to as well.
Yep. Normally, Ursas have been kind of flippily flop when it comes to item purchases. The first major item, either it's Blink or Helm of the Dominator. And I think this is a Blink game, right? Because you're not really looking to, eke out a little bit more efficiency when it comes to regen. You're not looking to get an extra creep. You're looking to kill people. I think for a mid-roll Ursa, the Blink is the way to go. But as I say that, he buys a Morbid Mask.
Yeah, they want to finish off Roche first, I would imagine. And
so is this a Mask of Madness transition?
I think it might just be casual for the moment, so that way when he comes out of Roche, he'll be back up at full HP and they can like transition into a tower. Because you mentioned it earlier, like they're kind of in a way, not necessarily on a clock, but there's a timing they want to hit. And it looks like they might make that happen right about now. They're moving indoors Roche. Should be able to take it real quickly.
Yep, and the rest of the team is going to extend the smoke gang up top. Now, the critical thing is that Nuts is level 6.
Right.
XY is also level 6. This is a dangerous move that they're making up top.
If they can get into a good position here for Magnetize, the Fatal Bonds, we've talked about how deadly that could be. They found Tim's as well as Rior, and Tim's trying to TP out. They are going to find that kill, but they get Roche in spite of it.
Yep, great play by Black, dodging pretty much every single stun. The secondary stun being dodged with the Shadow Dance. This is what we're going to see from Black. Again, the draft is not really catered towards dealing very effectively with Black. They did have to spend an Inferno just for an Ogre kill, which is not really great usage of that ult, but they're going to at least get some tier 1 damage.
And they'll be able to keep them back for the moment. Firestorm, a great ability here. And it also looks like Lone Druid is... I still think that they can keep these lanes pressured out. Do you like the idea of them just sort of moving around from tower to tower to tower, like even if there is an Infernal up?
Or Faceless.
Yeah, or for like TNC, can they make something happen, like even if they have the Warlock ulti?
I think for TNC, yes, they can to go for the tower and tower because they have the Lone Druid. Yeah. But I think it's more time efficient if they wave to level 15. Right? Just spend the time now to get to your items, get to your 15, and then those tower is essentially free for you. No need to make that aggressive play right now. You're not that far behind.
They're going in.
As I say that though, they're gonna port mid and get this tier 1.
Onto the Lone Druid Bear as well.
It's so nice. It's a nifty trick.
All right. Well, they have no Warlock ulti, but they do have Magnetize. The Fatal Bonds only on to 2 heroes, and here comes that tower. Yep. They've got it.
And they want to press for tier 2. Okay, I keep thinking they could just sit back and farm, but TNC, as we saw from last game, aggressive in any fashion. No matter if they're down by 30k gold, they are looking to be aggressive.
And I think that this is why I was expecting the Slark to be a little bit rough, because like right now he doesn't have a
Doesn't do
Shadow Blade
anything,
yet.
yeah.
He can't stop it yet.
Well, he's going to come in right now. They're going to go on the back line. They find Raven. Raven taking a ton of that damage. Savage Roar's going to help him out a little bit. He gets to safety. And I think that is a disengage. No, they want to swap him back in. Black, though. Dead.
Nicely played there. Beautiful display, and that's the mechanism done on the Underlord, so they keep their team alive. They're able to last through it, and, well, with no Warlock ulti, I mean, if they would have waited, I think you can sack that tower and then defend the next one, possibly.
Right.
I don't know. It didn't end up being that huge of a kill. Like, Slark going down there is pretty big.
I think it's big because he's trying to work towards that Shadow Blade. Like you mentioned before that fight actually happened, without Shadow Blade, he's just... I don't want to say a non-factor, but he's not a Slark, right?
Yeah.
He's not a threat, so any kill that you could get onto the Slark to delay that Shadow Blade is huge. And Ursa, like you also predicted, casual Mask of Death, sorry, Morbid Mask into a blink.
All right, Cuckoo. He's doing it. I always feel like the Ursa, if he doesn't get off to a good start, is going to end up struggling a ton, but he is, in spite of that, like, the laning phase didn't matter all that much, the, like, first wave pull. Do you think it would have been good for Earth Spirit to stick around a little bit longer and keep the pressure on in that way by keeping on pulling mid?
I'm not sure if you can to keep on pulling mid, because
the
first after the first pull, I'm not sure whether if the wave, like, you know, the respawn time for the camp and whether the pull is dependent on trees or not. I don't know fully the pull mechanic. Bottom lane.
Oh.
Ice. Be dead.
Slowed. They have the Fire Blast. They've caught him. A chase could continue. They get the hoof stomp trying to TP out. Is it going to happen? They weren't able to break the TP.
Yep. Calm under pressure. Did everything you need to do to survive. Mid lane.
Go in on this. They have the mechanism still. They're taking this fight. Miss everything. XY now in some trouble as well. The Fatal Bonds are out, but it's only onto those bears, onto the creeps, really.
Yep. Oh, Cuckoo has the blink available. He has the double damage. He blinks in, but actually guesses wrong here. Jabs. Goes away, and they can't actually push this mid tower because Warlock doesn't have mana for it, so he's getting there very, very soon.
I mean, they don't even have the Blink Dagger on Centaur yet. This is such a huge timing right now.
Oh,
for TNC, they're on top of him, jabs, but they won't be able to find a kill.
Yep. That's the tower.
TNC. And
Radiant's bottom tower.
I remember we were talking yesterday with Merlini, and he was saying about Ursa, like he's sort of one of those win the lane but lose the game type of heroes. Do you think that it's going to be that type of situation in this one? Like, do you think that he has the ability to finish off enough of these towers or like find the advantage, or is he going to kind of fall off?
I think the reason that Ben is making that point is that a lot of the time Ursa's play is so single-dimensional, right? You win the lane and you look for kills. Sometimes, and a lot of times, you don't find the kills, and thus you lose the game.
Right.
But look at the way that TNC's playing. They're not just going for kills and only kills. Kills comes as a second byproduct of their pushes. Seems like they're just grouping up, taking advantage of the weakness of Faceless, right? They, like you said, they don't have Blink on Centaur. They don't have Shadow Blade Slark. So punish them. Yeah. And Ursa is used more so as a big, scary threat. Then, you know, he's actually not jumping at heroes and
Radiant's
killing them
middle
endlessly.
tower is
Right,
under
and I mean,
attack.
they're picking up those items now, but it's already after they've lost a tier 2 tower in the mid lane, and it's like the real timing where those items would be huge aren't really coming about. There's a Dark Rift now up to the top lane, and oh, looks like they're ready to take this tier 2 tower, and they've got Mechanism, they've got Arcanes, they're building towards Greaves. DNC are coming for your base, Faceless. What you gonna do?
Yeah, man. I mean, they are gonna lose the tier 1 mid, I think. No, actually, everyone has to back off and respawn, or sorry, deal with this kind of a threat that's coming their way. That by going aggressive, they protect the tier 1 and they protect the tier 2 bottom.
Is under attack.
Goodness. Well, Black, Shadow Blade done at this point. They are ready to. I mean, this is the thing, though, too. Like, even if you do have the Shadow Blade there, what is he really going to be able to do if everybody is grouped together? As long as TNC has, like, a Venge swap to keep him alive or a mechanism to help keep that lone Druid alive, even if you jump him, like he has Savage Roar, too, to keep him off of him, I don't know. It feels like it's still a hard game for the Slark to find kills.
I think if you look at it like that in a vacuum, yes, Slark by himself can't run into a team, but he's got his own team as well, right?
Yeah.
Faceless is very good at forcing you to run away. They have Stampede to, like, just make you scared. They have the Warlock ult. You're not going to just stand and fight under a Warlock ult.
No.
And when the enemy team's running away, then you can imagine a scenario where Slark's going to be super strong.
Right.
So I think that's going to be how Faceless is going to play it. They have a lot of methods to start off the team fight via like triple remnant, drop the rock, and then Slark comes in town. NC could hold their ground and a group us 5. Slark might have a little bit of trouble down the road.
Well, and I think that it speaks to what you're talking about there, that they have to win the engagement or be in a position where they will win the engagement.
Right.
And
Radiant's middle
God,
tower
finding a
is
pick
under
off on the
attack.
jabs here. This would be huge.
What
The
stuns do
Centaur
they have?
Conqueror.
What stun do they have for this pickoff?
Centaur Conqueror. Do it.
I mean, this is the weakness of the TNC
Yeah.
lineup.
Stampede, the Warlock ulti used onto Cuckoo. They end up interrupting the hoof stomp. He gets the enrage off. This is not the fight that Faceless want. He is gone. Ice is out of there, and they used Warlock ulti. They used Stampede. I mean,
They ping out Cuckoo. They actually want him. He's isolated away from his team right now. They're going to throw every stun for him. He does not have the Aegis. He's just dead away from his team. A rare mistake by Cuckoo. Now the rest of the TNC team is looking for more black. Trapped in, but he will jump away.
okay. All right, that was a
Radiant's top
much-needed
tower is
pickoff
under
there. If they didn't get the Ursa, that would have been tragic.
Yep.
And maybe this is the point where they could look for more. Slark's just a little bit too afraid to go after it. But yeah, I think
Radiant's
that
top tower is
again,
under
they like
attack.
Faceless didn't decide to defend those outer towers, which I really like the decision because they wanted to make sure that they had both big ultis up to fight. And then having to force that one, there is going to be a window when Ursa's back up where Warlock ulti's down and they can maybe take this last tier 2 or even go in for Roche. I mean, how do you contest?
That's the danger now, right? You give away Roche to the Ursa, and suddenly you can't make the same plays that they were making. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly how Faceless could play it. Now, one of their strengths as a team is that their high ground defense is absolutely amazing.
Right.
We've seen TNC did a lot of that last game. Faceless is going to be put to the test. This is historically where Ursa is also very bad at.
Yeah.
Win the lane, lose the game because you can't push high ground. So
He's going to be going back for Aghanims, which doesn't necessarily help him take high ground, but he can react if they're hitting and, getting an enrage off after the fact. Still going to be a ways away from that one.
oh, it's going to be up to Raven to break into high ground if there's anybody that breaks high ground.
Sure. Vizerin picked up now for the Ursa, and Raven Aegis on him.
Radiant's
Maelstrom
bottom
done.
tower
It is the call, and how are Faceless going to deal with this?
I don't know. Conjure up a refresher for Nuts because he needs that Warlock ult for the defense. Shit TNC wants to push.
And it's
Radiant's
certainly not
bottom
worth what we
tower
ended up
is
seeing
under
before. This
attack.
could be a nice play as well. Reor swap into the Centaur Conqueror stomp.
Okay.
See if they can make it work. Have vision. Mjolnir as well. Fatal Bonds. Only really on to Sam H at this point. They've got him. Pull him
Swap
back
back
in
in.
into the
Yeah,
stomp.
there
They
you
got it. Okay.
We saw Black doing a lot of that last game as well. It is a very nifty trick
are fortified.
when you got the micro to back it up.
Absolutely. They get the silence on the Cuckoo, but they force the buyback now on the Ember Spirit.
Middle tower
They're going to end up losing the melee barracks here if they're not careful. They do have a resummon on the bear if they need to, but he's not even dead yet.
They got the Warlock ult, and I think it's getting close to a point where they might need to worry about their outer towers themselves. Blink stun here going on Raven. They're going to roll in. The Rock, the Fatal Bond, it's on every single hero. The Agents pop immediately. Sam H taking a ton of trouble. And now I think Raven's going to respawn, but he is still in a lot of hot lava. But no, he wants to turn around and fight. I'm not sure whether he can. Slark comes in. They force him to run, but Slark also dies to something. I'm not exactly sure what. Ursa's ultimate has been outlasted. He is also going to go down. Force them to run, chase in, and kill. And this is the high ground defense of Faceless. They
Very
will
well
not
played.
break here.
Yeah, I think that it's exactly what you were talking about. The Slark is able to chase after the fact, and I think that TNC realized if we run right now, we're just going to lose. So let's try and get at least something for the Lone Druid dying there. And they managed to take down the Slark, so still a really huge win for Faceless and really rough for TNC that they end up giving away the fight like that. But they managed to find the Slark kill, and slowing down Black is so necessary this game because, as you mentioned, they don't have a great answer for him if he gets out of control.
Yeah, I think the mistake there in that last team fight was Raven had his hero up on the hill. He was trying to hit the Raxus instead of using his bear.
Right.
And as a result, Ice immediately just jumped on him with this hoof stomp. And normally it's okay when you have a core with Aegis to getting jumped like that. In fact, you even prefer it. But again, with the nature of this game, as soon as one person gets jumped, everybody gets initiated on because you need to save your core. And then, you know, we talked about the importance of Black allowing him to now initiate in, not being in the forefront of that fight. Yes, Black eventually did die, but it's probably not going to die if the fight happens again like that.
I do like the Blink Dagger pickup as well for XY. And now having that extra bit of mobility, he can, you know, use the rolling boulder to escape from the midst of those team fights. So a lot of these core items that they needed are there, and Warlock has his Hand of Midas as well. Like, there's a lot of things that are going right for Faceless, and it feels as if they're trying to weather the storm that they knew was coming. But another big smoke play. TNC this time without an Aegis. Still looking to try and pressure this high ground, though.
Oh, they're wondering if anybody's kind of standing nonchalantly up that hill. They're kind of correct, but XXI is very far away.
Spot out a ward as well. Very little vision in this area.
I think they actually see the TNC heroes.
They are still smoked up. They don't spot. Alright, so don't find anybody there. Underlord now in some trouble, possibly.
I mean, he could always start Griff out.
Yeah. Okay, 9-7. Currently a net worth lead of around 2,500 gold. It was a lot more before, and Faceless, like we saw in last game, starting to build up that experience lead off the back of the comeback.
Yep. I've been actually seeing a lot more of this in this new patch, where a team threatens to push high ground, gets a tier 3, and then backs off. Normally in the previous patches, you're like, well, it's not really a big deal that a team lost a tier 3, but now the shrines are open. And TNC will, they already took one, and they're probably going to take the other before the next push actually happens.
Black really has not been able to get a lot done this game. He's been farming and now into the Silver Edge and the Echo Saber, but it's just the type of game where they're not giving him opportunities to find openings and find kills. Yeah,
we always think of Slark as a core that, you know, his bread and butter is picking off people in the jungle. But when you play together like a team like this, it's hard to find those pickoffs. But that isn't to say that Slark as a hero is neutered. Like, he doesn't find those pickoffs, but in the actual fight, you got to keep in mind, he's still extremely mobile. He's still extremely hard to lock down. He might not hit for very, very hard. He's hitting for like 200. Yeah, 200 already. Yeah. But as the game progresses, he is going to be a threat. Yeah. And I think sooner rather than later, TNC will need to start taking Raxus to start closing out this game.
Yeah, I would completely agree. They got the tier 3 tower, it's good, but now you need to move in towards taking all of the rest of the shrines. They got the one down bottom, need to get one up top, wait for that next Aegis, and secure it. Likewise, if Faceless are somehow able to go in and contest, save that Warlock ulti, save the Magnetize, everything else until they get for that Roche fight, that's when you end up being able to sort of break the back of TNC.
So I really like Cuckoo's item choice here to, instead of going for the Ags that he had queued up, he goes for a BKB. He understands that there's just so many ways for him to get locked down, that even if he acts to break one disable, there's more to follow. And I like the BKB choice a lot more here.
There's so many heroes of TNC around, and Black sort of playing the margins to the best of his ability. They TP out the Ogre, so he will not find or be found by Black. Still trying to build into more of that damage with the Scotty. Bottom lane jabs pushing it out. You got the BKB done. And it feels like all of these items are just to gear up for the fight that we know is going to come around that Roche pit.
Yeah, but I feel like in the span of the last 5 to 7 minutes where Faceless had that magnificent base defense, they have already caught up so much that even when the next push comes, I think TNC has already lost a lot of their edge and momentum. I mean, this Ursa doesn't even feel like it's as big of a threat as he was before, right? Cuckoo looking for a bash hit. Unfortunately, did not get one on Black.
Oh, it's a frustrating game, certainly. And it harkens back to what you were talking about in the draft, that there isn't a great lockdown for that Slark. I mean, maybe if Sam H finds that like initial root or something, that can change the things around. But even then, you've got Dark Pack to deal with it, and I mean, you just need everything.
You're looking for instant stuns to deal with Slark. And Cuckoo can itemize her, right? He could finish the Abyssal, just catch Black by surprise, but you know, he's like, what, 2,000-3,000 away from finishing it.
Like the projectile for Venge, the long cast animation and short range for Ogre. They're putting themselves in a position now to try and take down this
Dire's
tier 2
bottom
tower.
tower
And
is under
they also
attack.
can Dark Rift if Roche respawns soon. We're seeing it's still a little ways away before it's even possible to respawn.
Black's going on
Radiant's
your
top
high ground,
tower
dude.
is under attack.
All right.
Gotta get out.
Dire's bottom
They're making
tower
it happen.
is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
They can
has
Dark
fallen.
Rift back for this if they want to, but it looks like it's just going to be Underlord who's holding the ground for now, and yeah, Black has to get out of there.
All right. Well, I like what Underlord's getting. He's going for a Rod of Atos.
Oh, it's a great pickup. Almost has it too.
I mean, it's a range disable, right? Essentially for some of these heroes, especially for
Radiant's
Ember
middle
Spirit.
tower is under attack.
Ember Spirit does have the Yule Scepter to reset the fight.
Ooh, are they going to go on this? Ice thinking about it, but these are two heroes that
Radiant's
are
middle
quite hard to
tower
kill.
has fallen.
Ember's coming in. I think they're looking for it. They're going to go for Sam H. That's a very tanky target, but now Ice getting initiated. Oh, no. He's going to try to TP out. Can we get a bash?
Oh, he
Yes,
got
they
it.
can.
On top of him, is going to end up falling here. They had everything, so
Yeah.
a little bit of a misplay there, but you got to take those chances on occasion. Oh, maybe. I don't know. They used Stampede for that, and Roche is back up
Yeah,
soon.
Roche is up.
And they might have to buy back on the Ice Centaur? Yeah, real questionable play there.
I think they had Ember Spirit coming in from the backside and in the nearby vicinity. It was an okay try, but
Are they going to try and force a buyback here? What?
the quarter is going to get cut off. Is Black going to take it? I'm not sure if he had a vision of it.
I pinged it there as he went by, but yeah, they have at least one range creep here with them. And it's time to go up for high ground. They want to
think they
finish
should go
off the
for
melees.
Range
Dire's
racks
middle
might be
barracks are
much
under
easier, but
attack.
never mind. Look at the Raven's
Dire's
damage output.
structures
Yeah.
are
That's going to
fortified.
force a glyph.
Okay, glyph down. They really don't want to buy back on Centaur here.
Okay.
They will lose a lane of barracks if they don't, I
Yep.
think.
That is
Dire's
Rax.
middle barracks
right.
has fallen.
They're on top of it. Bear going to end up falling, and they have the Dark Rift away.
And the Dark Rift straight into the Roshan
What,
pit.
Tim's? Well, come on. You got to keep walking, man. Stay with it.
Oh, did he not get caught?
No,
back?
this actually matters a lot because this was Ursa not there either. And
That's
now you're in
fine.
range to be able to get here and possibly defend
Oh,
this.
Slark finds himself. Oh, okay, well.
Maybe
Slark
not.
back helping out. They're going to go for Tim's, but this is going to be fine. On the back line here, it's going
Oh,
to be
Jabs
Aegis.
is gone. Jabs is gone at the start of the fight. They get the Stampede. The Warlock ulti's down, but it's far too
They
late.
just dropped the rock on 4.
Oh,
Why?
no.
There was absolutely no reason to drop the rock there.
All right, this is a collection of misplays. They lose the Ember Spirit.